Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati. My name is Reverend Connie Simon and I'm glad you're here. Situated on the land of the Adena, the Hopewell, the Miami, and the Shawnee, our urban community welcomes all with love, supports learning and spiritual growth, serves our wider community, and works for justice, equity, and inclusion. If this is your first time joining us today, welcome. If you'd like to know more about our community, please send an email to member-care@firstuu.com. If you are a long-term member or someone who hasn't been here in a while, either one, welcome back. Welcome home. At the end of the service, we will have a series of slides that are announcements of things that are happening in our community, of upcoming activities and events. We invite you to take a look at those and to join us as you are able or so desire. But we begin this morning, as we do every time we gather together, by lighting our chalice, the chosen symbol of our faith. And we do so this morning with Late October by Maya Angelou. Carefully, the leaves of autumn sprinkle down the tinny sounds of little dyings, and sky sated of ruddy sunsets and roseate lawns. Roil ceaselessly in cobweb grays and turn to black for comfort. Only lovers see the fall a signal end to endings, a gruffish gesture alerting those who will not be alarmed that we begin to stop in order simply to begin again. Please join us now as you are able in singing our vision song. The words will appear on your screen. Before me are stones and water. Something simple, yet deeply meaningful to us here in this community. The stones represent the things that happen to us as individuals and as members of this larger world. The things that are joys and sorrows. The things that make us happy, the things that bring us grief and cause us strife. This water represents the healing power of community. This is special water, most of it. At the beginning of our church year, we all bring water as a sign of community, and we pour a drop in a collective bucket. And with that, we say what we intend to bring to community over the course of the year. The last 2 years, we haven't been able to do that. But there is still some of the water left from previous years. So after it's collected, we boil it, and we put a drop of it in here for Sunday mornings. We use it for memorial services. We use it for children's blessings. We use it for all sacred events. So this water has within it the molecules of all the things that people promise to bring to community since the fall of 2018. There's love and joy and hope and sympathy and kindness and all kinds of things in here. So what better way then for us to soothe our sorrows or amplify our joys than by dropping these stones in the water? So this week, we drop a stone for all those sadnesses and all those sorrows that we are holding. We drop another stone, and I've chosen a larger stone on purpose, for joy, in the hope that love, joy, happiness, all of those wonderful emotions and things that we feel will be amplified in our community. And I have a third stone, the stone of no name. This stone is for all of those things that we are carefully guarding in our hearts, for the things that we don't want anyone else to know about, for the things that we're not ready to talk about, for the things that we are holding close. They may be joys, they may be sorrows, they may be cautious joys. You don't want to get too excited yet. And still, the unnamed, we drop that stone in the water. If there is a particular joy or a sorrow or a thing that you are holding in your heart right now, please bring it to mind. Hold on to that thing just for a moment. And imagine that your sorrow is being soothed by the many who are here, and that your joy is being amplified by all of us who are here as well. You may notice that there are some flowers here with me today. Usually there are not flowers on this table. Not a deliberate choice, but these flowers are special flowers. This week in our community, we suffered a large collective loss with the passing of Richard Bozian, who was a longtime member of this congregation. And I want to share with you a biography that was written of Dr. Bozian back in 2019 on the occasion of his 100th birthday. Dr. Richard and Marguerite Bozian, known to us as Dick and Mike, joined First Church on March 1st, 1964. When asked what the years have meant to her, Mike immediately replied, "The church has been an anchor in the community for us. We've made lifelong friends. It supports us when times are tough. It means everything." Dick said he rarely thought about life issues when young, even when serving in World War II. But since discovering Unitarianism more than 55 years ago at Vanderbilt, when he and Mike were new parents in their 40s, his whole life perspective changed. The Bozians joined First Church after moving to Cincinnati so Dick could become head of the UC Department of Nutrition. They are very grateful that their 5 children received UU values from First Church. Their 2 daughters, in turn, had similar experiences when later raising their own children at other UU churches. When the children were still at home, Mike was very involved with RE and LRY, which was Liberal Religious Youth. Dick served on the First Church board 3 times and was active in the Laymen's League. He's now involved, or was at the end of his life, in the humanist group and was a zealous volunteer and participant in many projects and activities. 25 years ago, he founded Smart Recovery at First Church as an alternative to AA. There are now 15 groups citywide with over 1,000 people having been served. Our former minister says that Dick was invaluable to her as a pastoral care assistant. He often got to the hospital to see a member of the congregation before she could. And many of us have enjoyed Mike's Armenian dinners purchased at the Heart and Hand auction. Not only is the food delicious, but the conversations at the Bosians' table were always memorable. In fact, discussions with the Bosians are always interesting and memorable. Dick said that the church is all about the people, the members who work hard to keep First Church thriving. He talked about those who preceded him, the Mantellons, the Pembertons, the Christies, the Luttons, the Underwoods, and said, where else can you meet people like this? It's the people who matter. You matter to us, Dick and Mike Bosian. Thank you for your generosity, vitality, and so much more that you've given over the last 5 decades to First Church and our denomination. I want to close by reading a poem that Dot Christensen wrote. And she recalled that Dick loved this poem. So I'm going to read it again today. It's called After I'm Gone. Like our ancestors, parents, lovers, and friends, I'll be in your thoughts. I'll be whispers in the wind. Hear my voice in the rustling leaves. Feel my soul in a forest of trees. Savor the mountains, flowers, and seas. They are my eternity. Listen to music. Remember to sing. I will sing with you wherever you be. Drink in the beauty of a sunset at sea, and your soul will share sacred space with me. Walk in the meadow by a beautiful stream. Marvel at stars. Hear the birds sing. There you will find me, my soul and me. For those who love me, who've been touched by my hand, you will remember, I understand. You will miss me, but do not long mourn, for I am alive when your memories are born. Dick Bosian, you will always be alive at First Church. We will miss you very much. Let us sit again for another moment of silence, after which we will sing our meditation response, I know this rose will open.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfold its wings. I know this rose will open.
I know this rose will open.
Good morning, beloveds. I know this is strange, seeing me at home, but I'm not at church this morning, and there's something I wanted to say to you, something that's been on my heart. It's about the church. Well, it's really about you and me. I once heard it said that there comes a moment in every person's life where who they are after that moment is not who they were before that moment. For me, that moment was January 2nd, 2011, the day Lily was born. Now, over the years, I've shared a bit about what that day was like and how it impacted me. But right now, I want to share with you what I learned about trauma through that experience. To begin, I learned that we all process trauma differently. Some of us get really fearful and scared and anxious. Some of us get so anxious, in fact, that we develop PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or complex traumatic stress disorder. Some of us let that anxiety drive us to hypervigilance. We think that if we can just know enough, do enough, be aware enough, we will never have to be hurt in that way again. Some of us disconnect. We think if we don't have any connections, then we cannot be hurt like we were hurt before. Some of us get really, really angry. How dare this thing hurt me? How dare this thing happen to me? I did not deserve this. Some of us feel guilt or shame because even though the traumatic thing was not our fault, sometimes it still feels like our fault. Sometimes we get really sad or depressed. And sometimes we choose to cope in some not so healthy ways. Here's another thing, though, I learned about trauma. And that's that we're all just doing the best we can at any given moment. So friends, no matter how you have come to process the traumatic experiences of the past 18 months, I want you to know it's okay. You are being held in love and an abundance of grace.
My friend Alex Klingenberg wrote something that she calls doing all right. I'm pretty sure we're doing all right, even though we're always late and the food comes prepared and you watch more TV than I ever imagined. I'm pretty sure I'm enough, even though I've worn the same sweatshirt for 6 days straight and I can't seem to clean the bedroom or unpack the boxes of books. I'm pretty sure you'll be okay, even though you don't act like other kids and transitions make you cranky and you spend most of your life daydreaming. I'm pretty sure there's no right way to do this thing, this family life endeavor, except to be in it every day and to laugh and try to be yourself in every way you know how. Even if it means I hide away in the bedroom or in the bathroom, writing poetry on my iPhone while the puppy sleeps and you eat hummus straight from the container with a spoon. I'm pretty sure we're doing all right. Family, we're doing all right. This is hard. And over the last 18 months, there have been some of you who need for the church to be reopened, for things to be as they were, to find some sense of normalcy in your lives. And there are others for whom the thought of coming out is terrifying. We want you to know that it's all okay. We are all doing the best that we can in dealing with this situation. So if you find that you are one of those people who's wearing the same sweatshirt 6 days in a row, and it's because you just can't seem to get the laundry done, I give you two options. One, say it's okay and wear that sweatshirt for 6 days in a row. If you want, call someone. Send an email to member care. There is undoubtedly someone in this congregation who will help you get your laundry done, if that's what you need. We'll help you send your laundry out to be washed, if that's what you need. This time, these last 18 months have been so hard. There are no right answers. There are no magic answers. There's no switch that we can just flip and make things be the way they were. What we will continue to do is hold one another through this time in the best ways that we know how. And remember that if you are in need, if you feel that you are in trouble, if you feel that you can't cope, reach out. And if you feel that you're doing just fine and you don't want to be bothered, that's okay too. For some of us, safety looks like hibernation. Whatever you choose, know that you are loved and you are held. As we've been reminding one another over these 18 months, let's stay connected, even if it's virtually. Let's stay safe and healthy, doing what is best for our own physical, spiritual, and emotional health and well-being. And always remember that you are loved. Every month, we designate our Sunday plate collections to benefit a special cause or local service organization. This month, our beneficiary is the Avondale Shiloh Food Pantry. This is one of our major social justice focus areas here at First Church. Our volunteers and financial support are essential to the pantry's operations. While the pantry is in Avondale, it welcomes and serves anyone who appears at its doorstep. It's one of the largest pantries in Hamilton County and an important source of food for many impoverished families. The need is even greater now, given the disproportionate impact the pandemic inflicts upon these families. Our Share the Plate collection in this particular month will be directed toward the holiday season and making sure that all families are able to enjoy a nourishing meal during the holiday season. If you'd like to support our efforts, giving to First Church is easy. You can text the word GIVE to 513-717-7373. If you have access to our Breeze member system, you can click Give Now, or you can give online at firstuu.com. If you choose an electronic method of giving, please use the pull-down box to select the Share the Plate for October to make sure that your gift goes to the right spot. If you'd like to write a check, you may make your check payable to First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati with Shiloh or Pantry in the memo line and mail it to 536 Linton Street, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45219. Our offering will now be gratefully received. This week, on Wednesday, it's the 3rd annual International Pronouns Day. We celebrated this for the first time, my first year here, I guess. And we talked about naming folks, and we talked about the importance of pronouns. And we kind of did it in the context of me getting to know you and realizing that it would be really hard for me to get 260 names all in 1 week. Well, I've been here long enough that I should know your names. You should know my name. We should know one another's pronouns by now. And we should be better at using them. But the truth is, all of us aren't at that place. And I don't just mean here in First Church, I mean in the world. The Pew Center did a research study on pronoun usage. And what I found that was interesting about this is that 39% of people surveyed at ages 17 and up, 39% had no idea what the researcher was talking about when they mentioned pronouns. They had no idea. 40% of US adults, though, were well aware of it and say that on our forms and official business that the government conducts, we need to move beyond the binary. So there's awareness on one level and not on another. So how does this break down? Like, who are these folks? What are the differences? Well, I looked at some of the statistics by age. And the researchers broke this down into 18 to 29, 30 to 49, 50 to 64, and 65 plus. For the people who were aged 18 to 29, 73% of them were aware of pronoun usage and what that means and why it's relevant. 65% of those 30 to 49, 54% of those 50 to 64, and 46% of those 65 plus. About half the population at that upper range. They looked at it by political affiliation as well. And here the numbers were a little different. Those who identified as Democrats or left-leaning independents, 25% of them were aware of pronoun usage. Those who identified as Republican or right-leaning independents, only 11%. So I thought, how is that there are so many people in these age groups who are aware of pronoun usage, but not on the political side? And it tells me there are a lot of people who don't identify with any political group who are aware. They've moved beyond the binary of left and right. The next question was, are you comfortable with people having pronouns that they prefer? Ages 18 to 29, 61% were comfortable. 30 to 49, 52% were comfortable. The other two groups were lumped together. 50 plus, 48% were comfortable. Overall, among adults, it was pretty tight, with 52% saying yes, 47% saying no. They broke it down into the political affiliation again. Does anybody want to guess what the comfort range was? Shout it out. No guesses. For those who identified as Democrat or left-leaning independent, 66% were comfortable with people using their preferred pronouns. Republican and right-leaning, it dropped to 34%. What does that tell us this far into the picture, when we've been talking about pronoun usage for a while now? It tells us that there are still a group of people in this world who identify as transgender, gender non-binary, or just choose to go by gender-neutral pronouns, who are not being seen by society. There's something that's not right with that. And I'm not judging those folks who say, well, it's just grammatically incorrect to use they, except to tell you that they's been around for a long time. A long time. Because when we talk about folks as he or she, when we talk about anybody as this or that, we're not allowing them to be seen in all their individualism. We're not allowing them to be seen in their beauty. Sam Dillon Finch chronicled his experiences as a transgender person, and he said, "It can't be emphasized enough that coming out as trans or any variation thereof is downright terrifying. It's often met with criticism, resistance, and invalidation. When I came out to friends, it felt like the world was crashing down all around me. And by far, the worst part was the resistance I faced when asking others to stop saying she." It's so simple. But imagine the amount of pain that it caused. Sam says that when you misgender someone, you're saying, I know you better than you know yourself. I'd rather hurt you repeatedly than change the way I speak about you. Your sense of safety isn't important to me. Your identity isn't really and shouldn't be acknowledged. I want to teach everyone around me to disrespect you. Offending you is fine if it makes me feel more comfortable. I can hear you talking, but I'm not really listening. Being who you truly are is an inconvenience to me. I would prefer that you stop being honest with me. I am not an ally, a friend, or someone you can trust. That's not me saying that. Those are Sam's words. Can you imagine what it must feel like to experience that? To walk into a space where you believe you are loved, where you want to belong, and have someone misgender you or not acknowledge your pronouns. I can completely see how that would make anyone feel as though their identity is not important to the people in the room. When we talked about this a couple of years ago, we talked about the fact that it's not often malicious, that it's accidental, that it's not intentional, that, oh, I didn't mean it, you know I like you, I'm sorry I did that. It still hurts. It still hurts very much. In fact, it probably hurts more because you're looking me in my eye and telling me that you love me and not seeing me. So 3 or 4 years into this, many of us at First Church are more comfortable with pronoun usage. We announce it when you walk in the door that your pronouns matter here. You can choose to wear a sticker that says he, she, they, or ask me, because there are too many variations to print stickers for everything. So just ask me. And perhaps we'll get into that routine of being able to introduce ourselves as hi, My name is Connie. I go by she, her. For those who are just not feeling it, saying it's not natural, it's just not right, it's grammatically incorrect, I want you to think back to the 70s. Think about second wave feminism, when the generic was he. Not the he or he/she that we eventually got to, but it was he. And that caused an uproar. It's just not right, it's not right. The chairman of the Department of Linguistics at Harvard criticized the feminists who wanted to get rid of the generic he by saying that they just had pronoun envy. Yeah. William Safire wrote that using they instead of he, which was suggested back then in the 70s, was caving into the radical lib forces of usage permissiveness. And somehow we got through it, didn't we? We got rid of he. We did it in the 70s. So today, is it possible that we could move from he and she to they, to sie, to zer? Or as my friend Wendy says, I don't have pronouns. I am Wendy. Is it possible that we could move there? So today, our story for all ages is really the sermon. I invite you to watch this wonderful story that Meredith has brought us and really think about the wonder question at the end.
What Are Your Words? A book about pronouns. By Catherine Locke, illustrated by Anne Pashir. My Uncle Leor is coming to visit today. I can't wait to show them around my neighborhood, and I can't wait for all my neighbors to meet them. Leor is my favorite uncle. They have many beautiful, colorful hats. The garden at their house is magical. They are a biologist and look at teeny, tiny living things under a microscope. I learn a lot from Uncle Leor, like that people can be described by more than what they look like or what they do. In fact, there are a lot of words to say who people are and how they feel. Some of those words are pronouns. Pronouns are words that can take the place of your name, like I, me, you, she, he, or they. Uncle Leor knows how important my words are to me because I am always growing and changing. And some of my words change with me. So every time they visit, they ask, "What are your words, Ari?" Sometimes I know my words right away. Happy, creative, funny, he, him. Sometimes I have to think about my words. Thoughtful, athletic, silly, she, her. Sometimes I have to try my words out. Sleepy, calm, honest, am. Sometimes I just use one set of pronouns. Sometimes I change my pronouns. Sometimes I use all the pronouns I can think of. My pronouns are like the weather. They change depending on how I feel. And that's okay, because they're my words. This time, when Uncle Leor asks about my words, I have a problem. I don't know what words to use, I cry. I can't decide which pronouns fit today. That's okay, Uncle Leor tells me, their smile warm. You have all day to think about it. But I want to know my words now. He and him feel squirmy and wiggly to me. Those aren't right. I have to think about my words later because it's time for Uncle Leor, my sister Rachel, and me to head to our neighborhood's big summer bash. Summer is my favorite season, and barbecues are my favorite type of party. Rachel dances and sings in the street, twirling around and making me laugh. Rachel has her own words. Her pronouns don't change, but sometimes she's quiet instead of loud. Today she is loud. Confident, tall, loud. She, her. Mrs. Bolton walks behind us, laughing at her friend Charlie's joke. Mrs. Bolton's cat chases Charlie's little brown dog up and down the sidewalk. Mrs. Bolton and Charlie each have their own words too. Curious, baker, considerate, she, her. Shy, doctor, generous, he, him. Our neighbor Anna tinkers with her car in the driveway. When I first met Anna, she had a different name and used different pronouns. But now she goes by Anna and uses she and her every day. She's my favorite neighbor. I'll be there soon, she calls. Mechanic, polite, vegetarian, she, her. We see Robin Day and Zier kids drawing with chalk. When I introduce Robin to Uncle Leor, I use Zier words. Artistic, sweet, kind. Zier. Uncle Leor says hello and tells Zier their words too. Playful, collector, gardener, they, them. We'll see you at the bash, they say. Ava and George from the ivy-covered house are on their way to the summer bash. Responsible, hardworking, serious. A.M. He, him. Nice to meet you, Leor, Ava says. They are Uncle Leor, I explain proudly. Everyone laughs. Rachel laughs the loudest and turns to me. What are your words today, Ari? She asks. I think about my words. She and her feel sharp and crackly to me. They won't work today. Why can't I figure out which words to use? I want to be able to share them with everyone. When we arrive at the bash, we see our new neighbor. Hello, my name is Ari. What are your words? I ask. Hi, Ari. I'm Avery, and I use they and them, they reply. Like my Uncle Leor, I say. What are your other words? Avery thinks. My other words are teacher, friendly, and loyal. What are your words? Avery asks. I scrunch my face. I thought I would know by now. I'm not sure what fits me today, I tell them. I try out some other words. A and ear feel heavy and bumpy to me. Those don't fit either. You'll figure it out, Avery tells me. Sometimes it just takes patience. But I don't want to be patient. It shouldn't take this long to find my words. Everyone else seems to know theirs. I go to Uncle Leor and tug on their sleeve. I still don't know my words. That's okay, Uncle Leor says reassuringly. They're your words. They didn't disappear. If you don't know them today, you'll know them tomorrow. Soon it's time for fireworks. I wait for the show to start, just like I've been waiting all day to figure out my words. Waiting makes me buzzy like a bee and makes my skin feel itchy. When the first explosions finally burst in the sky, everyone gasps. Suddenly, I feel my words fall into place. Sometimes I know my words right away. Sometimes I have to think about my words. Sometimes I have to try my words out. But sometimes I have to wait for my words to find me. I squeeze Uncle Leor's hand. Uncle Leor! I whisper excitedly. What? They ask. There's another boom of fireworks and colors race through the sky. I point. Those are my words. I'm like fireworks. Impatient, excited, colorful. And they and them feel right today. Fireworks, Uncle Leor says with a laugh. They squeeze my hand back. That's definitely you, Ari. My words finally found me. They and them feel warm and snug to me. These pronouns are perfect. When the fireworks are over, we all walk home. All our words floating with us. And our pronouns too. Confident, curious, generous, zier, kind, mechanic, neighbor, responsible, he, him, zier, she, her, teacher, happy, gardener, sister, am, they, them. Hi there. I haven't met you yet. My name is Ari. My words are impatient, bouncy, excited, nervous, colorful, and hopeful. And today, my pronouns are they and them. What are your words? My words are Unitarian Universalist, kind, passionate, she, they. What are your words?
What are your words today, knowing that they may be different tomorrow? Hi, my name is Reverend Connie, and my words are spirit-filled, dog mommy, Aunt Connie, and she, her. As we go forth from this place, let us all find and hold and cherish our own words, whatever they are. Let us share them with one another so that we can be seen and held and loved for who we truly are. We close our service by extinguishing our chalice with the words that appear on the screen. Together we say, we extinguish this flame but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace. There are volunteers, those who help with the literacy program and those who support the pantry. Also, for those who are interested in learning more about our community, know that you are welcome here at any time. Come, come, whoever you are. That is the song of this church. If you'd like to know more about membership or our community or the things that we do here, please send an email to member-care@firstuu.com. You can always reach me directly, Rev. Connie @firstuu.com. It's spooky season coming up, and there are lots of ways to celebrate the holiday season that is spooky season. On October 31st, we will not be in the sanctuary that day. Our service will be completely held on Zoom so that we can share our spooky stories. So if you have a photo of yourself in a costume, a ghost story you want to share, a drawing you've done, whatever it is, please send it in to Meredith or let us know, because remember, it's on Zoom, so you could be on costume live. If there's something that you want to upload, we need it by the 27th of October. Also, in our Avondale community, there will be an Avondale-wide trunk or treat that happens as well. It is sponsored by the Avondale Business Development, ABDC, Avondale Business Development Community Organization, and the Avondale Community Council. Okay. On Sundays, we now have childcare available for children ages 3 and up. This will run through November 28th and will happen outside. Please come dressed for the weather. As we continue to look at reopening, we hope to have more programming for a wider variety of ages and indoor very soon.